What's going on, everyone? It's Patriots Draft Central here. Mike Kadlick, Tayler Kyles for CLNS Media, powered by Prize Picks, Game Time, and a loaded up Patriots draft class. Coming to you with individual quick hitters on each of the very important picks that the Patriots have made to sort of set up a bedrock for this new era under Mike Vrabel. This time we're talking about Craig Woodson, safety out of Cal. He was picked with the 106th selection in the 4th round of the draft. When we went live, we weren't sure if it was a little bit of a reach. Some of us thought so. Some of us didn't. We came to sort of a consensus looking at national, opinions and things of that nature and figured it was a pretty good pick. We spoke with Craig Woodson as well. He seems fired up to be here. So, Tayler, your initial thoughts on the Woodson pick and how he fits into a safety room alongside the likes of Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, and Jalen Hawkins.
Yeah, in terms of where he was drafted, Ryan Cowden mentioned that this was one of those situations where he actually brought up Kevin Byard as a guy. He didn't want to compare them as players, but he said it was a similar situation where I believe he said Byard was taken in a similar range, and it was a situation where they really just stuck to their board and they trusted what they thought and not necessarily the consensus, because you can't always trust the consensus. And also Kevin Byard was a guy who came from a little bit of a smaller school. I'm sorry, he was taken in the 3rd round, actually. Right. But again, another situation where maybe what their board said wasn't the same as what all of us outsiders may have thought. And also, Cowden and Woodson, when we spoke to him, both consistently brought up communication and Woodson's communication ability. And that stood out to me because what was the Patriots secondary's biggest issue last season?
Communication.
Busted coverages all the time. And yeah, it is because of miscommunication. One guy doesn't know his job, and then you get the DK Metcalf touchdown. You get like the Colts game or all these matchups, or the Dolphins game, which was one of the worst in terms of communicative games I've ever seen from Patriots defense. That was clearly something that anybody who looked at this defense was like, yeah, they should probably address it. Now, it does create a very dense safety room because now you got the returners. You also added Marcus Epps, brought back Jalen Hawkins, and you drafted Craig Woodson. But I see Woodson is more of a pure center field type. Maybe he learns even from a Marcus Epps, who was a captain when he was at the Raiders and really filled that middle field role. I see them similarly as guys who you can tell are those field generals on the back end. They know how to line up in different places, the versatile kind of players, but they're not the most physically imposing. Like, I haven't gotten very deep into my Craig Woodson study. I will be doing, or we'll be doing our film breakdown so I can really get a better idea of what these guys' skill set is. I was only able to watch him against Syracuse, and I noticed he played a lot of man coverage all over the field against tight ends, outside, inside, when they were lined up in with the core formation, whatever. He was consistently near the catch point, but I didn't see the range or the physicality to disrupt those passes. So, like, the tight ends were catching pretty much everything that was coming their way, and he wasn't doing a whole lot to stop it. Also thought some of his ID at times was like a tick off, where it took him a while to realize the ball was on the other side. Sometimes that might have been tied to his assignment, but it seemed like he might have had late eyes. Pretty solid tackler, but if it's like him and a Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, or Antonio Gibson in the hole, I'm not terribly confident, but maybe he can slow them down so other guys can rally to him. So I'm curious how he's going to serve as a last line of defense necessarily, but he's a versatile guy. Like I said, he can play the nickel spot, though Ryan Cowden made it seem like he is going to be a safety. He's not going to be any kind of Marcus Jones competition. I don't think he should be either. I don't think he really is physical enough to live at that nickel spot the way you need to be. But if you want to keep him on the back end as maybe like an eventual Marcus Epps replacement, we talked on the live show about with Jabril Peppers. Very good player on the field, absolutely fits what Mike Vrabel loves, and he was someone they extended. But after last season, right, wrong, or indifferent, he was obviously acquitted of the most significant charges, but they stripped his captaincy away. That's not nothing. So he also battled a knee injury. He's getting a little bit up there in age relative to the very physical position he plays. So maybe the Patriots are positioning themselves to be able to move on from him, maybe a Kyle Duggar, although Kyle Duggar was a captain. I don't think there's anything about his game that they wouldn't like. But now they have options. Del Pettis is someone who was very heavily involved last year. I think he needs to make a big jump in terms of his football IQ at the pro level, but, was a core special teamer, so you figure he's still going to be on the roster. Brendan Schooler played a bigger role at safety as another core special teamer. So, I mean, with Vrabel, he came up under Belichick, and they love their versatile defenders. Safety is one of the easiest places to find versatile players because by nature, you're kind of forced to play all over the field because there's very few static defenses that only play their safeties in one spot. So I have not yet found the reasoning outside of the communication that I would have taken Craig Woodson where they did necessarily, but it's still very early. I haven't even watched the guy's highlight reel yet, which maybe I should have, but what he's known for is making plays on the ball. That just didn't show up against Syracuse. And that's big thing here is if he does end up paying off the draft slot, it's not because of the communication solely. That's a great benefit, but it's going to be because he makes plays on the ball, which as a safety, that's a lot easier than as a corner because the Patriots play a lot of man. If you're watching the receiver, it's hard to know where the ball is, much less make a play on it unless you're Stephon Gilmore, Defensive Player of the Year. So as a safety, those are the guys as we've seen with Peppers, with Duggar when he's at the top of his game. Being able to have that vision on the quarterback and the ball carrier is a big advantage if you have the range to capitalize on it. Hopefully that's what they get from Craig Woodson.
Yeah, so, and for what it's worth, I mean, Ryan Cowden said of him, high-level character, said he was a smart football player, and on the communication said it's the communication skills he possesses that set him apart. So hopefully he can bring that to the room as well as the physicality. He mentioned himself. He loves to bring the boom. He loves to hit people, and that's his favorite part of football. A couple other sort of around the, I guess, draft community hits here. Daniel Jeremiah said he's one of those guys where I just don't know what I'm missing. He's got enough size. He takes the ball away. He ran mid 4.4s, and he's a super great leader, according to some people at Cal as well. So,
and those are all things to be fair, like in the game I watched, they just didn't show up. And Jeremiah has watched many. I cannot emphasize enough. I don't want people to be down. It was literally just one game.
No, but it's worth it. I mean, it's a different perspective. And sometimes you have to do the research on your own and look at it. And like you said, that's what comes up. Eric Galco from the Shrine Bowl said he's one of the most athletic.
Friend of the show and my former boss.
yeah. One of the most athletic, springy safeties in the entire class. So after what they did on days 1 and 2, bringing in 4 offensive players, starting off day 3 with, did I say offensive players or defenders? I'm losing my mind.
We don't.
After bringing in offensive players, they start day 3 with a defender in Craig Woodson. And as we know, brought in a couple more, which we'll get to here on the channel. But that is our Craig Woodson wrap. Again, the Patriots take him with the 106th pick in the NFL draft, a safety out of Cal to hopefully help build up that defensive backfield in New England. Make sure to keep it here on Patriots Press Pass for all of your Patriots draft coverage. We'll be here throughout the entire weekend with all of the latest surrounding who the Patriots are bringing into their new 2025 roster under Mike Vrabel. So until next time, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll see you very soon. Peace out, everyone. Prize Picks is the best place to turn your sports knowledge into cash. With millions of members, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. And all you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000 times your cash. So run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And right now, you can cash in on the basketball playoffs. So do not miss your last chance to add your favorite players from the court into your Prize Picks lineups, whether it's points, rebounds, assists, or anything. Make sure to just pick more or less, and you get up to 2,000 times your cash. You think LeBron James will get more than 24 points? Think Giannis will score more than 35? Cook up those hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. And all you got to do is sign up today, download the app, and use code CLNS. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS. And get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Just want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Head over to Game Time and use code CLNS. You get $20 off your first purchase. You can see the Red Sox. They're opening up next week. Patriots back here in Gillette Stadium. Could be good this year. Stephon Diggs just signed. So fun times down here in Foxboro. And if you want to get to a game again, head over to our friends at Game Time. Use that code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.